Hi Scorpio, this is your September 2024 reading exclusive here to Patreon. Thank you so much for being a patron, and if you're new, welcome. So this is a watery September indeed. We do have that eclipse coming up in Pisces on the 17th, 18th of September. Mars has moved into Cancer and Venus moves into Scorpio on the 23rd, the same day as the Sun moves into Libra this year. And this is a reading which is going to focus somewhat on September, as it is, yes, and also on what this particular eclipse season means for your sign, because the September Pisces eclipse is a little bit of a wild card eclipse because the nodes have not moved into Pisces and Virgo yet. The nodes are still in Aries and Libra, where we've been having those eclipses since April 2023. So the eclipse on October 2nd, however, is a continuation of that story that emerged in April 2023, and that eclipse is going to be in Libra. So we're going to look at basically what that activation of the Pisces part of your life is going to be around, as well as seeing where the story is continuing for you in terms of the other eclipse. Let's see what's coming through on the tarot for September for you, Scorpio. The Five of Cups is here, and the Son of Swords, Two of Swords, the Star, the Four of Cups. Well, okay, I mean, you're processing something very watery at the moment. That makes sense. The Four of Cups is here in the recent past. The Five of Cups is the present energy. This is just suggesting that, I'm reading now today when the moon is in Scorpio. And there is a lot of integration, processing. There can be a kind of yearning. There can even be a sadness sometimes around these times. The Emperor is coming through with the Eight of Wands, your energy. The Father of Cups, often seen as the King of Cups. The Father of Wands is here too. And the Two of Wands. Big decisions at the moment. Two of Swords on your mind, hesitation around making this choice. Two of Wands. By the end of the month, you're making it, around that eclipse in October, even at the very beginning of the month, you're landing on a choice, or you're kind of striking ahead with one or the other. What I'll do is I'll pull some more cards to clarify as well as we go. Okay. I mean, a couple of things before getting into this card by card. The strength energy of the four in tarot is about stability and strength, right? And the Emperor is a four, but the kings or fathers in this deck are also four energy, right? So seeing the Emperor and the Father of Wands, the Father of Cups, this would tell me that, this is a month of great strength for you. This is a month of having mastery in, it seems like, more than one area of life, or more than one set of skills, or just gaining mastery. As I said that it was 3 minutes and 33 seconds, 3 areas even, and 3 is a sequence, 333 is a sequence of fertility, abundance, growth, of possibilities, and doorways opening in different kind of avenues. It's not just anymore this one or the other for you, Scorpio. There's a third option or a fourth option, or there's just a sort of sense that you could go in a whole new direction, or take many different streams of income, many different streams of interest, many areas of focus and things like that. All right. So something has got you feeling upset / agitated / isolated, or sad horse. Five of Cups, it's about feeling down in the dumps, or luck hasn't been on your side. The kind of trigger of the pointy sword, it's like the prodding of an unhealed wound there. What would we call that? The Son of Swords can look very triggering in this deck. They're just going to, this owl has got this kind of know-it-all attitude, very wise, and can sort of see what your problem is, or see what your issue is, maybe is a better way to say that. Not before you can, but maybe, you know, there is this kind of somebody is assessing you at the moment, and that makes you feel rather exposed, right? And somebody might be thinking, or kind of even like quite openly suggesting to you, Scorpio, that like you need to make a choice on this, you know, you need to commit one way or another, or you need to get out of this stalemate position. Like you might be finding it hard to speak to somebody at the moment, you might be feeling some distance. That's feeding into the Five of Cups wound of sort of just forlorn or isolated or upset, and somebody in your life, or even like your therapist or whoever you speak to about this, your friend, is saying like, well, maybe you should make the first move, or maybe you should basically piss or get off the pot, or be vulnerable, tell somebody how you feel, and you're like, I don't know if I can do that. That's also very triggering for me, because that is activating a kind of wound or a kind of place that doesn't feel super safe for you this month. It's a watery month, it's a watery Virgo season so far. And you know, Mars, which is your ruler in Cancer, not a great place for that. Okay, not a great place. And the thing about that is what's usually a 6-week transit of Mars through a given sign, well, it's looking like more like almost, it's 5 months in Cancer. Okay, because of the retrograde, and that's very uncomfortable. So wherever the Cancer area of your chart is, you know, you're going to have a lot of focus there over the next 5 to 6 months. You're also going to have a lot of ambition there to take action around that area of life. So a certain area of life you're about to pour a whole lot of focus into and have quite a lot of ambition around. And the the suns, this is night energy, like the KNIGT rather, that is like very much about putting focus and being ambitious towards a goal. However, there is a severing effect with Mars too. So at the same time as you're pouring a lot of focus into one area of your life, most likely it's the area of life that Cancer rules in your chart, you're also going to be severing there as well, which makes sense because you have to make a little room for what else is coming in. All right, so you have to kind of cut ties with something, release something, call it quits on something. Some of you are finding it hard to quit something or to call it quits, and that might not be a habit or a behavior or some sort of a job or something like that. It might also just be like a standoff with another, or like, oh well, I'm not picking up the phone first, or this kind of like tiptoeing around a situation that's got you feeling drained, right? This is either emotionally drained, or else it's like drained of your energy and resources, like it's taking too much time up or something like that. We'll clear it up. I keep looking over there because Shay is asleep for now. Four of Cups, I like to see it in the past energy, because now we're moving towards like a lot of fire. 8 of Wands, Emperor, Father of Wands, 2 of Wands, and that tells me that from like the Pisces eclipse onwards, there is more of a turning point for you, which seems a bit more activated, more energized, more forceful and busy, yes, but things are just happening more on the external for you at that point. 4 of Cups recently seems to have been like a bit of a flat, you know, it's like a flat tire, it's feeling deflated, it's feeling like the wind was knocked out of your sails a little bit, and that could have come with just some higher expectations on something. You kind of, I feel like, you know, you were looking up to somebody, or you were looking forward to an event, or you were looking forward to something. I do feel like there was something like a meeting, or like a meet cute, or some sort of a meetup that didn't either happen at all or didn't go according to plan. Now that is another 4, and like I said, this 4 energy coming up in your reading, like 3 situations of 4, does suggest like things are a little stagnated. All of this 4 energy, that could even feel boring. But at the same time, that might just mean that because things look like they are getting a little bit more lively for you, that could just mean that was like recently has been a resting period for you, and you've just been kind of like just like in a very, not necessarily mundane, but it's like same routine, same week on week, you know, 4 or 5 weeks pass and you're like, I've basically just been doing the same thing, you know. Not like Groundhog Day, but There's a little bit of that maybe for some. 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Star card. You know, it would be remiss if I didn't say when these two cards come up in a reading together, there is a bit of wish fulfillment in the air, okay? So this could indicate a time for you where it's good to put your best foot forward, believe in miracles, and expect the best case scenario for yourself. Why wouldn't it be? The 9 of Cups is all about that fulfilling, and that's how really manifestation, like the Star card, happens. Like, this is about goals and aspirations and the future and the North Star orienting us towards our goals. But you really have to feel that on an emotional level, you know, to really commit to something, to really make something happen. You really have to visualize it, right, and kind of paint the picture and set the scene and imagine it. But you have to really calibrate your emotional frequency to what that's going to feel like for you, and quite consistently match that emotion, and then kind of allow, that's kind of when best case scenario comes up for you. And I feel like your subconscious mind is in Star card energy, which already knows and understands this. Consciously, you're kind of hesitant still. You're kind of eye rolling probably at that a little bit, Scorpio, the 2 of Swords, you know. Right, so my partner is a Scorpio and very earthy as well, you know. And so today I was like praying and blessing my water, and I was, of course, like, I was, you know, acting up a little bit as well. I was like, blah, 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 like, I bless this water. And the water was, it was dead water. It was from Costco, for goodness sake. So it was unconscious. That water was unconscious. I was like taking a sip out of it. He was like eye rolling so hard at me, and I was like laughing as well. But that's what it kind of is. It's like, you got to have a bit more faith at the moment. This is eclipse season. It's very watery, like I said. It's very expansive. It's very mystical. It's very magical at the moment right now. There's a Pisces eclipse coming up with, it's, you know, it's a nice configuration. It's beside Neptune, which is the celestial body of transcendence and spirituality and unconditional love and miraculous, you know, events. However, on the same hand, the shadow of that is delusion, illusion, and it's all of those things have to work together in a kind of like sliding scale. So subconscious mind already knows miracles can happen, because in this lifetime or alternate, you have seen miracles happen and occur. People get better, people heal, things happen that you might feel like shouldn't, in the logical sense, but consciously you still have a lot of doubt. And there's an eclipse here, if you notice, behind this 2 of Swords. I think from that Pisces eclipse there is a kind of like cracking open of what the North Node will be moving into Pisces early next year in January, and setting off more eclipses in Virgo and Pisces for those couple of years. Collectively we'll be exploring the North Node in Pisces and what it means to head towards something more Piscean, something more expansive, something less limited and bounded to reality, you know. So you're just kind of dipping your toe into that now, but it's actually quite profound for you this month, I think. And then it's kind of seeing is believing with the 2 of Wands. You're like, well, I have to actually see this in action. 2 of Wands is much more about action and doing something. So that might just mean you having faith and belief in yourself to take a chance on something or to act on something. You see the proof of some sort of a miracle, if that's really what you need. But it could be argued that it might be more beneficial just to trust. Blind faith. What have you got to lose? The Emperor card. So as you move towards the eclipse, you are seeing like that kind of same energy, right? What is the eclipse? It's a full moon eclipse. So that's what that looks like, right? It looks lunar, the sun and the moon in the same place. No, that's solar, my bad. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's an image for an eclipse. as we move towards the eclipse, you're feeling really strong in your position around the 17th, 18th of September. It's just around the corner. Something seems like a sure thing for you, and very solid, and you're very confident about something. But this could also just speak to you establishing yourself somewhere. A lot more establishment for you in September, October. Like, you're establishing yourself in terms of like, can I buy this home? Can I rent here? I'm establishing myself in this career. I'm establishing myself in a role. Oftentimes the Emperor speaks to just like an archetypal role, like stepping into a person, like stepping into the shoes of somebody, or embodying the kind of archetype of taking charge and leading and calling shots. The Eight of Wands coming up from your highest self. The highest self, if I was to voice the highest self here, the Eight of Wands would say something like, keep throwing right now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like I'm looking at about like 8 tree trunks right now, just like spread out like this. It's kind of like spokes in the wheel. It's kind of like throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. There's an energy of the Eight of Wands from the highest self saying like, roll with it, go with it. Things are unfolding very quickly, and keep talking to those people, keep sort of staying in contact, keep making the same moves. There's the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands just sliding on out there to tell me that Two of Wands, take an action, make a step towards this. 3 is more expansive, like that 333 signature we saw earlier. Things are about to grow, things are about to unfold and become more possible and more established. It has to do with you taking an action to make this happen. So you're contributing now to the creation of your star card, goals, visions for the future, hopes and dreams, all of that stuff. And for you, that's much more of what manifestation is, like you doing something, rather than you having this just inherent belief at the moment that that's just the nature of this experience, that we're actually here to understand how to manipulate energy. And believe me, I had to have a pretty large psilocybin dosage to actually, story for another day, but I knew that like we are energy and all those things. I could see energy on certain trips. I actually was sucked into a fucking vortex of energy before, and that was like a very large wake-up call to me that like you actually can like tangibly work energy. I haven't really dipped my toe back into that because it's not the right time in my life for that, but also it actually freaked me the hell out. Story for another day. But anyways, that is all about, basically what I'm saying is like, it makes more sense to you to take the steps and make things happen. But what I'm saying here is, damn it, 1 second, I'm gonna just grab, I'll be back. You okay, Papa? Oh, everything's happening now, Shay. Okay, Shay is joining the party. That wind woke him. I'm sorry, Papa, that was not long enough sleep for you. And we'll pull a few more cards. You're doing okay. Are you doing okay, sweetheart? You doing okay? You are. All right. Welcome, Shay. That's why I'm not doing YouTube readings at the moment, because I'm like, I know that there is no possibility for me to get like these kind of monthly readings done without Shay in the picture at the moment. Maybe for October. Oh, that's a big windies. But we'll see, right? We'll see, won't we, Baba? But you're so stinking cute. Aren't you? let's start just pulling a few more cards to flesh this reading out a little bit, Scorpio. And thank you for your, extending your grace and, letting me include Shay in this reading for now. Okay. So yeah, we'll look at, I guess, the 4 and 5 of Cups together to start, just to get an indication as to what has been going on for you on an emotional level. And it's kind of like, more difficult emotions, it seems. It seems like a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth, a little bit of deflation, and being somewhat defeated and disappointed, that's the word I'm looking for. 4 of Cups with the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. So much more cup cards and much more of a indication that you just weren't in the right time, or you weren't in the right place for whatever reason. So I say bad taste in your mouth because of, there's a rash over these cups. It's just a bit gross, it's disgusting, or there was something to do with like a lack of emotional health or well-being, or just like a lack of fun, right? A lack of playfulness, a lack of ease, and much more of a 4 of Cups is kind of a stagnant energy emotionally. So it's kind of like about, I guess, this kind of similar impression of like week on week, like for 4 weeks in a row, for 4 months in a row maybe. It felt almost like, just doing it to do it, Groundhog Day, like rinse and repeat. And that got a little dull or a little boring for you. And that fed into this sort of belief. I think the 8 of Cups is more of a belief of yours than a reality, that the 8 of Cups, like, now the party's over. You know what? I did say those words when I came to sit on this bench. I guess over the weekend there might have been people having picnics here and stuff, because there's colourful confetti all over the ground. And I kind of sat down and I was like, oh, is the party over for Scorpio? It's possible. That could be something that's coming up, with Saturn in Pisces. It's a very sobering energy, and that can translate to people drinking less or not drinking at all, or sobering up on some level, right? You wouldn't know anything about that. And the 8 of Cups to me is like more about a belief of yours that the party's over. That's just a belief. There's nothing to say that has to be reality, but there is some sense of you saying like, all right, the 4 of Cups, this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. This isn't working for me. The fun has gone out of it. Now the 8 of Cups, like all these smashed glasses, to me just looks like I've stayed too long at the fair. It's time for something more deep. It's time for something more meaningful. The 5 of Cups, then you get into your kind of like disappointment. Why have I wasted so much time doing this? Or why have I kind of been so grey, and then kind of black and white, and like, I don't know, it's just not as sparkly and alive. Now this looks like what your brain looks like on that mushroom trip I was talking about. Like all of the neural pathways lighting up and making connections that were not there before, and unfortunately evade your awareness once that maybe you get like a day after it. I'm like, I'm going to remember this forever. I'm going to think like this forever and live my reality like this forever. Like, now I've had this breakthrough, and then 24 hours later you're kind of back to the humdrum, right? So there is something then to be said about the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. Like, what would really truly make you so happy, right? And it can be anything, and there's no shame in whatever that is. That would make you feel truly, truly happy, more childlike, more full of wonder. Well, why don't we sit you down and you can look at the doggies going by. Would we do that? You think you're on FaceTime, do you? Say bye-bye. No. Hi, you can look. Yeah, okay, so you're in this headspace then of like, things are getting better, things are improving now. That was really disappointing, but you know what, at the same time, I'm kind of voicing, like, for you, Scorpio, you're like, at the same time, I'm not fully surprised. Like, my heart wasn't in it, or I didn't make it very fun, or I wasn't enjoying that. Like, there was a bad taste in my mouth. There was some sort of a mundaneness or monotony to that. And I don't know, it just didn't feel right. There was a real sense of, like, like I said, the emotion has to sync up with the belief and the plan and the decision and all of that. It all has to be in sync and in tune for this to seamlessly flow and to, it looks like there is quite a dream in the pipeline. Is pipe dream something like that doesn't happen? That's not what I mean at all anyway. So who's triggered you? What is the wound, so to speak, the vulnerability? It's quite here and now for you. So whatever seems to be when you practice, your mindfulness, and when you trace the root of your thoughts and your triggers and see where they come from, it's very current and it's very now. Mother of Cups in reversal, since Mars has moved into Cancer. That's what that is to me. So that was like pretty much at the top of September. Mars moved into Cancer, and Cancer is such a vulnerable part of us, and the Cancer part of our chart is very vulnerable there. It's very sometimes private, especially with the Mother of Cups in reversal. We keep it kind of sometimes hidden and protected. That makes sense. You want to protect your heart space. It's a very deep place, right? And so this is very much about some of your deeper insecurities or deeper fears or deeper worries or deeper emotions and hurt places getting currently triggered, so that there is some sort of a cathartic change and wababa and release. Maybe could have been some tears over the last week, some heavier emotions coming through with this disappointment, and saying like, you're just not surprised that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, or that kind of connection didn't happen, or the meet cute or whatever. You're not surprised fully. And is that not some sort of proof for you, Scorpio, that there has to be some sort of a faith in this, right? There has to be some sort of magic. Two of Swords coming through with the Seven of Wands in reversal. So the indecision about this, the hesitation, the doubt around making a choice, or you're expecting no's, you're expecting almost like worst case scenario consciously and subconsciously. Miracles can happen. So there's this real opposition between what your primal mind maybe, or your kind of like your logical side of yourself, your realistic side of yourself, the pragmatic person you are, is at odds with this subconscious knowing. And sometimes the subconscious is the practical, pragmatic side, and the conscious mind is away in the transcendental realms. And at this time, that's the other way around, though. For you, the subconscious mind is like, no, I've already seen miracles on some plane or on some dimension or another, if not in this lifetime. And that's ingrained enough into the settings of your psyche to kind of exist there and to kind of drive this forward. I guess it seems like you've had to go through a kind of tougher time emotionally. I hope this is making sense, because I don't know where I'm necessarily going with this. Is kind of maybe the most weird and watery reading I've done so far of these monthly readings, but you're kind of having to go through this kind of emotional time to kind of confront the part of yourself that is uneasy with things being easy, who is feeling already defeated before you even get your answer, before you even meet the deadline or or get to the place. You're already expecting, like, it's not going to work out for you, so that's no use. Let's see what the miracles of the subconscious mind is attuned to at this time. I don't know, I'm hearing light a few candles, kind of be intentional. Yeah. The Empress in reversal. So when we see the Empress and the Emperor, wherever the Emperor may be, I do get, okay, so there is a sort of like another opposition between the kind of like pragmatic and the fantastical side of yourselves. There's also a discrepancy between masculine and feminine, yin energy, masculine, yang for you. A lot of you are operating totally in your masculine at the moment. That makes sense. More pragmatic, more logical, more action oriented, more seeing is believing, and the proof is in the pudding, and that's great, you know, but that's what's lacking here. It's the Empress in reversal. The Empress is about receptivity and a divine birthright to receive, not having to do anything to get what you want. It's already yours, and that takes a deep amount of self-love and a lot of self-worth. And obviously, you know, I'm not going to go into anything like to do with the circumstances that we're born in. I'm an evolutionary astrologer. I believe in reincarnation, so I believe in having lifetimes, all of us having had lifetimes when we've suffered in other ways, or where we've had experienced bliss in other ways. It's part of the, in my opinion, the karmic nature of this realm and this earthly experience. But for you right now, as you're watching this, presumably you have the resources to get here to the Empress upright, to cultivate gratitude for what you have is a great way to start, and linking that to an emotional sensation. I got you. You wanted to play. You want to play and be involved, don't you? And linking that then to like how to bring it in, right? So you might have the resources then to be more creative. That's Empress energy. But it seems to come down to believing in miracles again, and instead of having to see something, what have you got to lose by being a little bit, you know, call it delusional if you like, if that would make you feel more comfortable. Why not? Literally, why not? What have you got to lose right now? So there is a call to action, I believe, would be, and I think subconsciously you're working on this, to kind of step into the archetype. I do think Emperor and Empress are archetypal roles of more of a yin energy, receiving, you know, like it's a mother energy. It's the kind of like relaxed feminine, nurturing yourself, of course, but also avoiding burnout would be something realistic, you know, trying to avoid burnout and trying to avoid being every role to every person, right? That's coming up. Okay, I should look at your relationship now. Just when I see, this could be the Empress Emperor, can be your parents. It can be you as a parent. Little roar. It can be you as a parent. It can be you in a romantic relationship. So let's just see and just take what resonates and leave the rest. We can't speak to all of those right now, but we can. High Priestess, just follow your intuition on whatever I'm saying next about all this. Take what resonates on this, Scorpio. The Ace of Wands in reversal. Upright, pure passion, creativity, magneticism, like drawing you in or drawing you towards this, right? In the reversal, like this candle in the reversal, it's a diminishing energy of spark. It's a diminishing of connection. It's a diminishing of passion. And it might be there might be some healing coming up around belief that you're you're worthy, Empress in reverse, of spark, of romance. If it's with your kids, you're worthy of fun and playfulness and inner child healing and honoring the inner child. And if this is your parents, you know, there might be just you watching them, you know, metaphorically lose their spark because, you know, people are getting older and things like that could be coming up as well, Scorpio. But take what resonates, leave the rest. Excuse me, what did I hear there? Excuse me, sir, what did I just hear? Okay. And this is the longest reading too. I mean, shocker, I'm literally rabbiting on right now. Okay, so now we've got 8 of Wands, Father of Cups, Father of Wands, and 2 of Wands. 8 of Wands, the highest self is coming through with a message to say things are taking off and rather quickly, spreading things out, planting seeds around the place in different places might be good. The Hermit in the reversal, and don't stay too long in one place. Keep it moving, keep experimenting, keep trying new ways. The Hermit card in reversal is like spending too long in reflection or spending too long on your own or in introspection or something like that. Right, I'm just going to fly through this now, Scorpio, because Shay's getting a little tetchy. Pulling 2 cards, or just pulling 2 cards for the Father of Cups and the Father of Wands. Speaking about eclipses, I didn't really do that. I talked about everything else under the sun. The Pisces eclipse is, well, that's what it is, isn't it? Believing in miracles, opening up to your faith and surrendering as Pisces, isn't it? Now let's look a little bit more into what the Libra eclipse looks like for you. Strength card in reversal. So there is a sort of a dominance, and the Lovers in reversal. The energy in the relationship. It's about roles in the relationship at the moment, and there is an imbalance there because the Strength card in reversal is a power dynamic that has gone awry, and somebody is trying to be both partners, right? Somebody might be trying to be both the mother and father. Somebody might be trying to be both the nurturer and the provider, things like that, right? And this is obviously very generic and very generalizing, but it's coming up. So at this time, there is something in the relationship that is out of balance, and it's about people not having the space to deliver what it is that their next soul growth archetype call forward, call to action is about. Come November 19th, 20th, when Pluto is finally out of Capricorn and moving direct, we're all collectively healing in a big way. So between now, September, and November 29th, or 20th rather, there is a last test in our Capricorn part of our chart. Meanwhile, Mars is in Cancer, opposite that in the Cancer part of our chart. So there's a call to action, and there's going to be tests, and we have to be very, very aware and mindful about where we're being triggered, where we're being tested, so on and so forth, because only then can we change things. All right, baby. We're gonna go right now. I want to just close you out with the 2 of Wands there, and just okay. 2 of Wands with the Justice card. The Libra eclipse is happening on October 2nd, and it's very much about balancing the scales and you taking a very decisive action step towards something, and you're just like, screw what that tarot reader said, seeing is believing, motherfuckers, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make it happen, and the kind of faith and miracle thing, you're like, let's focus on that in another time and space, okay? People that are involved in anything like relational or legal or contractual at that time, Oh, at that time, what did you do? At that time, things are getting figured out. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.